Since the Sony Alpha A77 rolled out a couple of years ago, people have been impressed by its features, performance, and image quality. The A77 II is an incremental update, but in some ways, it breaks new ground. Hi, I'm Larry Becker. When the first Sony A77 originally came on the market, it did a lot of things that were pretty cutting edge. Lots of those innovations are commonplace since then, so on top of a few small improvements, Sony engineers put a lot of engineering into improving the focus system for their new version of the camera, and the result is an impressive APS-C equipped camera that competes solidly with all the other high-end APS-C DSLRs currently on the market. And for burst shooting, it crushes them. It's a 24.3 megapixel APS-C equipped camera that uses Sony's latest BIONZ X image processor. And the big improvement is Sony's new focusing system that has 79 phase detection autofocus sensors that are spread across a very wide portion of the image area. Now, 15 of those sensors are near the middle of the image area, and those are going to be cross-type sensors as well. And Sony has incorporated the improved AF sensor technology into a new autofocus mode option called Lock On AF Expanded Flexible Spot. Now, when you're in that mode, you use the multi-controller joystick to move your primary focus point wherever your subject is in the frame. Then you press the shutter button halfway to grab focus. Now, just keep that subject in the frame and keep the shutter halfway, or press it all the way and take pictures. And the focus system will stay locked onto your subject even if they move away from the primary focus point. Another cool autofocus addition is Eye AF that prioritizes your subject's pupils to give you consistently sharp performance for portrait shooting. And while the original A77 could shoot bursts at 12 frames a second, the exposure had to be locked. The A77 II can shoot 12 frames a second bursts with that impressive new focus tracking system, and Autoexposure makes adjustments on the fly as well. It doesn't have to be locked. Capturing 12 frames a second action that's in focus doesn't mean spending thousands and thousands of dollars on your camera body. Two other updates that make me really happy are the multi-interface shoe that now accepts industry standard small flash units, and the addition of onboard Wi-Fi. You'll also notice that the shoe has additional connectors in it so that you can add optional proprietary Sony accessories like high-end microphones as well as standard flashes and video lights. And Wi-Fi is great for things like the free Sony app on your smartphone for image transfer and remote control. And if you have a compatible smart device, the A77 II can also connect using near-field communication. The user experience with this camera is great. Starting with the ergonomics, from the weight and grip of this dust and weather-resistant magnesium alloy body to button and dial placement, everything is within a quick and easy reach. And there are even a couple of standout ergonomic features. The multi-selector joystick is responsive and intuitive, and the LCD panel is a twist flip style so that you can see the LCD from just about any angle you can imagine, including from in front of the camera both above and below. And something you don't always get with modern DSLRs is that nice top LCD panel with important camera setting information. As somebody who prefers an optical viewfinder, I have to say the electronic viewfinder in this camera is a great experience. I do a lot of shooting in bright sunshine, and even with the impressive 1.23 million dot LCD, you'll need a viewfinder in the sun. While the viewfinder is a bit more contrasty than an optical viewfinder would be, that's usually not a problem. And it's nice to be able to see your menus and other variables that you might want to adjust in the viewfinder. If an EVF is new to you, one of the nice things you'll discover is there's a sensor that automatically switches the view from the LCD to that 2.4 million dot OLED EVF when you hold it up to your eye. And if you press your eye as close as you can to the viewfinder, some of those shadow details will be easier to see. With one exception, the view on the rear LCD becomes the view in your EVF whenever you hold it up to your eye. That exception is the shooting settings information screen that's available on the LCD, which has no image preview in it, but when you hold your camera up to your eye, you get a regular shooting preview. There's just one quirky problem with this EVF, and I know I'm not the only one who's bugged by this. There are countless customizable things that you can set and adjust on this camera. I just wish you could set an image review so it would never show up in the EVF, only on the LCD. When the camera is up to my eye and I'm shooting, I never want to have the images I just shot block my live view. Now, I don't mind if they play back on the LCD, just not on that EVF. The solution for now is just turn off automatic image playback. The A77 II really performs well in low light, and I'm talking about both image preview on the LCD and the EVF, as well as the high ISO low noise performance. The native ISO range goes from 100 to 25,600, and it can be extended as low as 50. I found the image noise to be acceptable with most images as high as 3200 ISO. Some looked good at ISO 6400. Even though ISO settings go a couple of stops higher, there's a lot of noise and lost detail up there. Granted, high ISO performance is still going to be better with modern full-frame sensors, but this is on par with full-frame sensors from just a few years ago. The image quality is everything you would expect from a modern 24-megapixel APS-C sensor. Sony attributes their great images to their gapless on-chip lens design technology paired with the BIONZ X processor. 1080p HD video at 60 frames a second or 24 frames a second means that this camera can capture some impressive video. And the external mic jack for an optional high-quality microphone means that your audio can be pro quality too. Sony even added zebra and peaking, which videographers love. And remember that new autofocus system I told you about earlier? Well, it does a great job with continuous autofocus during filming. I got to test the A77 II with a couple of great lenses that I would give further credit for great image quality on my test images. I used a Sony zoom lens that's designed specifically for an APS-C size sensor and Sony A-mount. It was the Vario-Sonnar T-Star DT 16 to 80 millimeter f3.5 to 4.5 ZA lens. With the 1.5x crop factor, that's equivalent to having a 24 to 120 millimeter field of view. Zeiss lenses just feel great. And the build quality and light capture and transmission mean that you get great images throughout the zoom range. And don't worry that it's not image stabilized. No A-mount lenses are, because the Sony A77 II continues the Sony tradition of sensor shift in-body image stabilization. The other lens I used is intended for both full-frame and APS-C sensors, and it was the Zeiss Planar T-Star 50mm f1.4 ZA SSM lens. Of course, on the A77 II, it's a focal length equivalent of having a 75mm prime lens, and that fast f1.4 maximum aperture means it's amazing for low light and shallow depth of field shots. This camera is a versatile, powerful performer with a solid feature set for both amateurs wanting a camera they can grow with and pros looking for top performance in an APS-C DSLR. It's loaded with automatic settings and filters for novices, fun image capture capabilities like sweep panorama capture and in-camera image blending for noise reduction, and advanced features like 11 customizable buttons and 3 memory recall mode dial positions. And I'm sure pros and amateurs alike will love how accurate their high-speed burst sets will be from now on. For B&H and Kelby One, I'm Larry Becker. Thanks for watching.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.
Scott Kelby here, and welcome to this quick tour of our online training. We have hundreds of online classes for you, covering everything from lighting to landscape photography. From portrait photography to sports, we have classes on wedding, automotive photography, shooting, food, fashion, travel, you name it. The most incredible part of this is the price. You get all of this for just $199 a year, or you can pay monthly for just $24.95. 24-hour a day, 7-day a week access from anywhere in the world. I invite you to join with us today and start learning right now.